Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever or wherever you are watching. How are you today? I am having sleepless nightmare filled nights, and I am filled with anxiety. Thanks for asking. But how are you all doing? Hey, Chris. We are going to get into some things today. Oh, I need to lower this a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better so that the thing is not popping up over my face. I have so many visuals today. Let me get myself set up because we are going to have some fun. I did this to cheer myself up. Hopefully it cheers everybody else up too. Oh, let me see some more comments. Chris says, oh no. Fominky Latte says, hey, what's up, Fominky Latte? And Tony Man says, it's about time. Yes, I apologize again for getting started later. I almost canceled, but I was like, no, I don't want to wait until later, and I don't want to wait until tomorrow because time is of the essence, and I really want to do this today because I got some juicy stuff. I'm going to go through the couples that I have like the least amount to say first so I can get to the juicy stuff later. Actually, let me do it larger today. Okay, so you see the default picture. That's going to be the juicy stuff we get to later. But let's start off with Kara and Guillermo. Unfortunately, Guillermo gets some. Oh wait, let me one more comment before I get started. Take out your frustrations on Bilal. Yes, yes. Unfortunately, Guillermo gets some unfortunate news about his brother. His brother's name is Jose Joaquin, and his brother had been on dialysis for some time. And the first bit of bad news he receives is that his brother's in a hospital. And this kind of sends him into a very emotional predicament because he knows that he can't travel back to the Dominican Republic to be with his brother in the hospital. And then things turn from bad to worse when he receives word that his brother has passed away overnight of renal failure, which has to do, I think that has to do with kidney disease or liver disease. I forget which organ it is, but it's either kidney or liver disease. And it's very, very unfortunate. And that's a lot to go through, losing a sibling, especially at his young age. Because remember, Guillermo's only 20, 25. He's 25, right? Yeah. And that's just a lot. And of course, they show him very emotionally talking about what it is to be an immigrant in another country and experience being so far away from home. He mentions how everything can seem so beautiful because you're in a new place and you feel that things are going to start to get better for you, but then something like this happens and you can't travel. Chris gave me the correct one. Yes, thank you, Chris. Kidney. I appreciate you. Kara, I guess to her credit, tries to be what's the word I put down? I wrote that she tries to express emotion because something about her just comes off as inauthentic. I mean, I hope I'm mistaken. I hope that's not who she really is, but it really comes off like her mind is thinking, okay, how should I react to this that will look good on camera? That's what I was getting from her, and that's very unfortunate that I'm feeling this way. I hope that I'm mistaken, but she's just so cold to me. That's pretty much all that happened with Guillermo and Kara this episode, but condolences to Guillermo for the passing of his brother, Jose Joaquin. I almost started to say it the other way around. I started to say Joaquin Jose, and then my mind said double check. Yeah. So R.I.P. Jose Joaquin. Next up, let's talk about Jibri and Miona. And since I'm coming on camera 2 days in a row without full facial makeup, I mean, I did put on some lip balm, a little bit of mascara, and I filled in my eyebrows, but it's not nearly a beat. So I was thinking next week I should do a full Miona style beat. I'm just looking for, I have a drawstring ponytail somewhere. I have to go find it. But I have to find a drawstring ponytail, and then in order for me to do this full Miona beat, I have to slick my hair back to the guys. And the thing that's going to be difficult for me to do is to not lay my baby hair because she slicks it all back. And I don't know how this is going to look, but I might consider doing it next week. Full Miona Instagram face beat. Full Mickey Latte says she looks like a mannequin in that pic. Chris only beat me because I was away from my phone. I told you, Kira is enough about your problems. Let's talk about me. Oh, you mean Kara? Yes. You look beautiful and you'll put me on to shame. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll see what I do with the makeup. Okay, so for them, they actually have dinner with. Oh, Chris says, agreed. Thank you, Chris. Well, are you agreeing? Wait, I'm saying thank you because I'm thinking that Chris is agreeing with the you look beautiful, but I think that she's agreeing with the Kira. It's enough about your problems. So let's talk about me. That's what I think she's agreeing with. What was I saying? They went to dinner. Well, wait, I can't say they went to dinner. They had dinner at home with Jibri's parents and his grandmother. And the way her stepdad cooked the burgers with no seasoning at all, not even salt and pepper. Like he was cooking them in a pot, not a saucepan at all. It's like a pot that he was frying. That's besides the point. They are, again, with their matching outfits. Oh, Chris says you'll put her to shame. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate that. Especially when we all know Chris has like a natural beauty that she literally she doesn't have to do anything. She has bone structure. She has her hair, which I always look at. Her hair looks beautiful, moisturized, like absolutely beautiful. Tonyman says, out of all the 90 days, I like Miona the best, regardless of her attitude. I actually think that she gets a little bit of a bad rap because of cultural expectations or cultural norms, I should say, because she's very Eastern European. And I actually wrote in my notes that one of the things that I really respect about her and a lot of the Eastern European women that we have seen on 90 Day is they do very clearly express what they want. They don't they typically don't put on airs. They don't fake things. They're very, these are my conditions. These are my standards. This is what I want. And I think in the West, a lot of times women are made to feel bad for asking for what we want, or we're taught to pretend not to want certain things when we really do want those things. Ergo, the pick me archetype, where women will say things that they think will be impressive to men, but they aren't really the things that they mean. And that's not good for anyone. You are most welcome. In this dinner, Brian actually does add his 2 cents. Like, normally he just sits there and he bugs his eyes out and looks surprised, but he actually tried to engage them and just talk about, whether they're ready for marriage. Although this is, like I said before, it's a moot point because we all know they're already married, but they're reenacting probably what they might have gone through. That's what I'm assuming that they're doing. At one point, this happens where Jibri calls Miona an entitled millennial. And it's like, sir, you're the millennial. Miona's 23 years old. That makes her Gen Z. And you're the entitled millennial. You're the person that wants to run head strong into a train and not have any cares or worries about yourself at your ever increasing age. You're like an extended adolescent, and you're calling her the entitled millennial. Yeah, it's very the pot calling the kettle black, but I actually don't think that she's as entitled as you do. The one thing she wanted was a beach wedding, and the thing about it is, what you have to express to her is that America is not the America that she's seen on television. And that certain things that you see on television are not the norm. They're elite. Like, especially can you imagine growing up in the 2000s and you grow up seeing all these housewife shows? You're going to think most American women are rich housewives. You're not going to think that there's more Here Comes Honey Boo Boo than there is real housewives of the OC or Atlanta. But on television, it's the opposite. You're going to see more affluence than what's everyday life. And so that's, I think, what Miona's issue is, that what she's thinking of America to be is probably largely based on our media. And our media paints this picture of people being a lot more affluent than what we really are. Oh, by the way, when this happens, on the surface, Mahalia kind of calls him out and is like, well, don't call her names. And on the one hand, that looks good. It's like, okay, good. Don't let people gang up on Miona. But on the other hand, Mahalia is kind of full of it because she's the one that put the battery in her son's back and pushed him to even do all this. So it's like she's playing both sides. She's like that coworker that sits with you and talks about how the boss is this and the boss is that. And then you have the interdepartmental meeting, and then you speak up and you say, I have some issues with you doing XYZ. And then they sit there and go, hey, wait a minute, don't go so hard, when they were the one that told you about, we're putting a battery in your back about speaking up. That's what Mahalia gives me. She's that person. Tony Man says, I realize why I like Miona. I grew up with Portuguese girls that look like that and dress like that. All of the couples would do better if they were honest about finances. I agree. Except they didn't have this snap-back ponytail. Well, back in the day, what a lot of us used to do was buy the weave tracks, and then you put your hair in a bun and you wrap the tracks around the bun and put hairpins all the way around it so it's secured. And then if you really want that extra look, you take a bandana and tie around it for your high ponytail. We used to do that all summer long. This is before drawstring ponytails were available, at least in my small town, because I'm from a small town. They probably were available long before we got them. But, where you live in the United States, the pair definitely determines your access to certain things. So let's get to Thais and Patrick. And I might have said this last week, but I'm going to say it again. I think she's a tall girl. Look at these legs. I think that's a tall girl. But for some reason, when they record her, she doesn't look tall. Maybe the cameraman is very tall, but that's a tall girl. Patrick tells her that he's going to take her to Vegas the next day, which is really interesting considering he didn't want to spend on a pillow previous episode, but now he has money to go to Vegas. So it's giving, it's not that I care about how much money you spend. It's just, I want to spend the money how I want to spend it, not how you want to spend it. Fo Mickey Latte says, did you see the clip of Jibri fake fighting with his friend in a music studio? Yes, I did see that clip. The way he tapped him in the face a couple times and then they went down on the ground, it was very fake and staged. It's unfortunate. You could, it was like WWE looks realer. Well, WWE technically is realer. I've seen Mick Foley take a chair to the face and it was real. He really got hit in the face with a chair. That was crazy. But what was I saying? Oh, he tells her when the next day when they're driving through Vegas about how he used to live there with his mother, and his younger brother still lives there with his husband, and how he would like her to meet his younger brother. And he tells us he's interested to see how his younger brother is going to react to her. And to me, I'm thinking he's thinking, well, John doesn't like her, but John is, a little, maybe slightly might be an alcoholic, don't know. And he's probably thinking, well, if my little brother also doesn't like her, then I need to be more concerned than just if John doesn't like her. So they end up going out to dinner with his brother and his brother-in-law. And they seem very nice. And they ask some questions. And Thais lets it slip that she has not told her father that she's going to marry Patrick, which we saw when they had the cameras down there, which it doesn't make sense because I just said they had the cameras down there. Like, what did you tell your father the cameras were following you around for? What reality show did you tell your father that you were filming for, or why he was being questioned? And also, he would have to sign release paperwork in order for him to be shown on the TV show. So this whole, I don't know how you would be able to hide that information. That's all I'm saying. But this is upsetting to Patrick because he doesn't want that type of negative relationship with her father. He wants her to talk to her father, and he even offers to talk to her father and ask for her hand in marriage. Tony Man says, I kind of like Steroid Dude. Yeah, out of most of the guys this season, he's the least angering. His major thing is just the money issue thing where he gets in his feelings, but he doesn't realize, and I think I said this last week, but forgive me if I'm repeating myself. Both him and Bilal tried to lure these women by showing them excess, by showing them, oh, I drive a Tesla, I make this amount of money, I do this and that. And then when the women come over and want to spend the money, they get all shocked. It's like, this is the image that you presented. You presented that you were a baller. Maybe she let him think they will only be engaged for now. Could be. That way it's a half lie instead of a full lie. What I did notice about Thais during this whole segment is that her mannerisms are very young. She gives a lot of teenageness, the way that she reacts to things. And I'm just saying that in comparison to, because remember, Thais is 25. Guillermo is also 25. Miona is 23. But of the three of them, she acts mentally the youngest, and it's glaring. Okay. Oh, the chapel, and this is where she has just a teeny bit of crazy in her eye. I don't know how she got him to take her to this chapel without him knowing, since he drives a Tesla. And like, I in my old ass car, I have, well, everybody does. You got GPS on your phone. Like, how do you not know where you're going anymore? But, for the sake of this storyline, she takes him to this, the drive-through chapel, and he's like, no, this is how you marry strippers. And that's the face she made after he told her that. But again, he doesn't want to marry her without her father knowing. So it was a no to that. I think that's all that happened with them. Oh, there was one other thing. Let me get my coffee, because here's where we start with a little bit of tea. Let me put up my banner. Okay, some people were asking why she was in such a rush to get married. Oh, wow, Tony Man. He says, I thought she was mentally challenged when she spoke in the car. Maybe she's just hammered. Well, she could have been drinking, but also it's just her accent. I think it's just her accent. But at the beginning in the talking head, when she was talking, I happened to notice I was looking at her little shirt here and how it kind of doesn't fit and it was folding over here. And if you also notice, like, just the fit of the shirt, right? Then later in the same episode, bam, all of a sudden it's tight and the tetas are tetaing. I think she might be pregnant. This is why I put the scroll at the bottom, allegedly. This is, I'm just saying, this could be a reason why she wants to rush to get married so much. Because you see the before and after. They did a good job with the jewelry and the makeup matching, because in previous seasons when they've shot weeks apart the talking heads, sometimes they don't do that right, because I noticed with Binyam's sisters, their lipstick kept on changing. But that's something I noticed. Okay, let me go on to the next thing, and we're going to talk about Mohamed, and let me take the ticker off, and Evie. Fomiki Latte says, dang, yeah, big change in only a couple weeks. And that's not enough time for you to have gone through, a breast augmentation. Speaking of augmentation, before I get into this, have you ever seen a BBL in real life? I was at the grocery store yesterday and I saw a woman with a new BBL in real life. She still had the binding garment on, and it looked so odd to me. Like, I don't think human beings are meant to have their waist be this big and their ass be that big. Like, it was just wild. And she was walking like she was in a lot of pain. I feel for her, but I never see, like, you seen, on Instagram and stuff like that, but I never saw someone in real life that just got one. And, whole thing, skinny legs, then all of a sudden hips and butt and then a tiny waist. And it just looked crazy. I'm shocked people are still doing that. Okay, so Evie and Mohamed, they go to the gym, and Evie asks Mohamed if what she's wearing is appropriate, and he says yes it is, but he really means no, because he says that he doesn't want to argue. That's why he says just yes, but really that's a question that should have been asked before they left home. Why would you wait till you get all the way to the gym to ask this question? Also, she has no sports bra on. This is a regular ass bra. That's how you knew she wasn't going jogging. He tries to teach her about interval training, where you go really fast for a few minutes and then you slow down. She's not trying to hear that. She's taking a leisurely stroll on this treadmill. Tony says, I love to bop that little person on the top of his head in front of that grandma for being so disrespectful. Are you talking about Jibri? Or who are you talking about? Tony man, put the person's name, because I don't know. Only in post-op pictures, it does look painful. Same with boob jobs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, when I was in design school, there was a girl that went with me that she got a boob job over break. And she was in the classroom trying to massage her breasts to stop it from hardening and hurting. Like, I'm addressing you because you wrote, I'd love to bop that little person on the top of his head in front of that grandma for being so disrespectful, but I don't know who you're talking about. Or are you talking about, wait, are you calling Evie the grandma and you're calling Mohamed the little person? Is that what you're doing? I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, they talk about having another child. Oh, yes. Yeah, so you are saying that. Wow. I see that right over my head until I thought about it. Yeah, she's not quite old enough to be a grandma. Well, not obviously. She's really only 48 years old. I know when you look at her and you listen to her, she's giving mid-50s, but she's actually only 48 years old. I don't know why. It could be just the styling, her styling. I don't know, because she doesn't physically look older than 48. I think it's just the hairstyle and maybe the way she applies her makeup gives someone of that generation rather than, her actual generation. Like, she looks more boomer than Gen X, if that makes any sense. But she's talking about having another child, which I don't understand why when women get older, or men as well, because both parties, a lot of children would probably rather prefer not to have 70-year-old parents. But why don't they ever consider adopting? I said that myself because I'm in my mid 40s. I have no children. And I thought to myself, well, if I change my mind, say I'm about 50 years old and I change my mind, I would rather adopt a 16 or 17-year-old. At least that way it's more manageable. Like if I had a baby at 50, I'm going to be 70 years old when that baby goes to college. Whereas if I adopt somebody who's 16, 17, and I'm 50, I'll be 52 when they go to college or 53 when they go to college. I'll still be more active. Not, I shouldn't say more active in their life, but able to be more active in their life than I would be once I'm hitting my 70s. So that's just a consideration I thought. But there's a lot of people that they don't feel that they can love a child that's not their own, and that's pretty sad. It's very, very sad. Tony Man says it's the sun and water in New Mexico, maybe the drugs as well. Well, I'm not going to go that far and say that she did anything. I don't know her history, so, but I know that New Mexico has a reputation, yeah. Aside from the baby talk, they also talk about religion. And Muhammad said that his children are going to be Muslims and that he thinks that Evie has had too much freedom. And I wrote down why he said what happened if they were not Muslim. He said he wants his children to be Muslim because they will end up with a kid, or else they'll end up with a kid drinking and dating. And I'm like, well, how did Islam prevent you from sliding up in this girl's bikini pic DMs on Instagram, living in her house and you're unmarried? I'm looking back and forth at his picture and then looking at y'all. The hypocrisy. Your religion did not prevent you from doing the same ish. Like, what are you talking about? Tommy says, let me say the same thing about adopting a teen. See if I don't get the side eye. Well, if you're married, I don't think you would get the side eye for adopting a teenager. But if you were a single man, then they might give you the side eye because there's so much abuse in America that, you know, people assume that other people are going to be abusive, even if they're not, even if their intentions are good. Chris says it's different when he does it. Haha. Yeah. Yeah, it's totally different when he slides into the DMs of bikini pics on Instagram. That's okay. But, you know, if she has children that aren't Muslim, they're going to date and they're going to have too much freedom. And the way he said it in that order, he said they're going to end up with a kid drinking and dating. Like the woman you're trying to marry, she has a child. She drinks. She's dating you. Like, he would have to get, and also being a woman in her 40s, I'm 46 years old. He'd have to get the hell out of my face. I would tell him, listen, little boy, get the hell out of my face. Telling me what to do. I can't. I don't know how she can stand it. How can you stand someone that you literally could be old? No, not literally. You are old enough to be his mother. At 48, if she had a child at 23, her child would be the same age as Muhammad. Like that's crazy. I couldn't do it. And she acts all afraid to talk to this dude. This is a child. I mean, he's not literally a child, but to a 40-something-year-old person, 20-something-year-old people are kind of like children to us. Not in a negative way, like we don't respect you, just in a, you're not as old and jaded as us yet. Just give it some time. Okay, let's get into the next couple, because I don't think I have anything else to say about them. I started to call him Benny. Yeah, it is Benny. Biniam. There's so many B names. Bilal, Biniam. So anyways, they are, well, it starts more with Ari. So I mean, says, I'm back on. We lost our internet for 50 seconds. Oh, wow. Okay. Glad that you are back. Well, it is storming outside. And I know you're in Seminole County, but right now in Orange County, it's storming. So I don't know which direction the storm is going, but it might have either passed you and came our way, or it's passing through us and heading your way. So, what's funny, whenever Ari is around Biniam, she looks pretty, you know, hair messed up. She's in athleisure wear. And suddenly when she goes out to lunch with Leandro, she's got makeup on. She got a little matching set. She was walking funny, though. She was walking like, I don't know whether it's the shoes and she's not good at walking in heels, but I should have taken video of her walking. It looked so funny. But she meets with Leandro for lunch. And then later in the lunch, Biniam shows up, but she talks to Leandro about Biniam and this whole thing. I don't know. I'm with Bini on this. It's kind of weird. Sorry, I didn't mean to smack like that, but I don't think it's bad to have your ex as your friend, but there are boundaries that I feel she's crossing. If she just went out to lunch with Leandro and left it at that, that's fine. But Leandro has brought her bras and came to visit her and stayed in her home in Ethiopia, or their home in Ethiopia. Now she's inviting him to Biniam's New Year's party, which they're celebrating Ethiopian New Year's. Which it was cool to find out that in Ethiopia they use the 13-month calendar, which if I recall correctly is the original calendar. And I think the 13, I could be mistaken. It was either a 13-month calendar or a 10-month calendar where every month had the same amount of days. And that was like the original calendar that people used around the world. I think we should go back to that because I hate trying to remember whether a month has 31 days or 28 days or 30 days. It's really irritating. Like, why would you change that? That doesn't even make sense. Just make the months have all the same amount of days, and that's that. I swear, the way we do things in the West to make things harder, from using the imperial system rather than the metric system, it's like the founding fathers of America said, "How can we make things harder for everybody?" But anyways, later on they. Oh wait, let me see a couple comments here. Tony says she's another one with weird eye. I can't really say what I said when I watched it on TV. Mm-hmm. One, yeah. I got what you meant. I'm good at what do you call it? Correcting typos while I'm reading comments. Chris says, I wouldn't even talk to an ex about my relationship unless kids with that ex were involved. Exactly. Like if you share children in common, obviously you're going to have a relationship with that person. But this is just weird. And this is at the Ethiopian New Year's celebration that they are enjoying with Binyam. And to her family's credit, I like that they try to participate in his culture. That's good. That's a healthy thing to do. I like how her mother, put on Ethiopian colors and everything. Her sister looks like she'd rather be anywhere else in the world but there. But what's interesting is the conversation coming up about her wedding dress, that she wants Leandro to come and help her pick out her wedding dress. Mind you, he also picked out her first wedding dress from when she was married to him. Then her mother says the most off-color thing that I'm like, why would you say that? She says, oh yeah, Leandro's going to pick out the bra that she's going to wear under the dress. And I'm sure she just meant it as a joke, but it's just really off-color to say. Later we learned that it's customary in Ethiopia to feed each other. And it's just, something they I don't know whether it's an everyday thing or whether it's specifically for the holiday, but Vinium ends up feeding Leandro, but he kind of fills this thing up and shoves it in his mouth. It's very it's not passive aggressive, it's aggressive. But I don't think Leandro's going to get the point because Leandro said it in his talking head to us that he's not going anywhere. It's just, it's unfortunate. And I think that's all I had to say about that, except for I did write that her sister is just look at her sister. Just totally Debbie Downer. Like, hopefully she's not suffering from depression because she just is like a breath of negative energy walking into the room. I don't know what that's about, but let's get into Kobe and Emily being as uncouth as ever. They decide they are going to go and purchase a larger bed instead of getting that toddler his own bed. Like, okay, I guess you're just going to bone next to your kid. And people on Twitter were really trying to convince us that, co-sleeping is, that's a good thing. Like, okay, maybe in some cultures a good thing, but why do you want to bone next to your kid? It's just like, that would turn me off. I couldn't do it. How you want to get it on and you happen to catch a glimpse of your child sleeping right there and you still, no, I can't do it. Ew. No. Tony Man says, Emily with the lisp, she kills me. It's a lisp, and it also sounds like her tongue is a little bit big for her mouth. It's so in the mattress store, this is what they're doing to test the mattress to see if they like it. And I never needed to know this much about them ever. And it's just so uncouth. Why are you doing this in the mattress place? Like, ew. What else happened? Kobe, her sister, who I call Bangs, because that's what I don't remember her name. She's doing her best to push him out. Mm-hmm. What I was saying, Kobe, her sister Bangs, and her father go to the jewelry store with this guy that has the biggest freaking soul patch. What the hell? And also has a lisp. Like, I wondered what is in the water in his town. Why there's so many people that have a lisp. And look at the soul patch. What is this? Why is this? Foaming Hilary says, what in public? Wow. Like, they were fully clothed, but they still were like low-key dry humping on the mattress. Tony says, and I don't even want pets in the room or bed because I feel like they're judging me. Yeah, that's weird too. I definitely don't want a pet watching. Like, it's just not right. So anyway, Soul Patch sells him a ring for like $1,200, and I'm not sure this is a jewelry store. I think it's a pawn shop because this back here, you see some plates and some silver back here, and I think it's a pawn shop. I don't think it's a regular jewelry store. Chris says, "OMG, no." Oh, I just noticed his little necklace around the tie. Oh, he said TLC is coming. I got to put on my finest. I'm so bad. Let me stop. That's how everybody's looking at Emily. This is her sister. This is actually from last week's episode when she was in the dress shop and she showed everyone that she had purchased her own ring. But I didn't have the photo last week, but I have it this week. And just this look on her sister's face, it's like that's when we know that she knows that her sister is not right. But go ahead, Bangs. We agree with you. I don't know what her sister's name is, really. If anybody knows her sister's name, put it in the comments. But yeah, this is how we're all looking at Emily. So later they go to dinner and TLC continues to have continuity errors because they show Emily, you see the jean jacket, she's getting ready to sit down at the table. But then, no, she suddenly has her overcoat on when she's getting ready to sit at the table. Your editors, do better. That should be in the reverse order. She has the overcoat on, and if you zoom in, you can see that she has the jean jacket underneath. So that should have been shown in a reverse order. But we saw when Ari was braiding her hair, there was like, a continuity error with that. Dude has the soul patch like Joey Greco. Sorry about the caps lock. Mm-hmm. So what's his name? Kobe gives her his ring in the champagne, and she's happy about this. But the happiness is only for a little while because back at home, she decides she's going to tell him that she did purchase her own ring in front of the family. Oh, by the way, before that happened, when she walked through the door and announced, oh, Kobe got me a ring, 2 out of the 4 people there pretended like they didn't go to the store with Kobe to get the ring. They were like, oh, what a surprise. And it's like, you were there. But okay. I mean, I don't know how wasps do things. Oh, Tony says Joey Greco from Cheaters. I remember Cheaters. Yeah, he did have that soul patch. You're right. Emily wants the party and the look of a lavish wedding day. That's it. Yes, she does. Because she's more concerned, like when they were in a car. And I said last week when she said, I think I said it last week, when Kobe was like, well, maybe we should not use the full $10,000 that your parents are giving us for the wedding and use it for other things. And she was like, I want nice flowers. Like her first thing was, I want nice flowers. You don't need $10,000 to have nice flowers. Anyways. So she tells him, and of course, this is his reaction. Like, yeah, that's everybody's reaction. When I saw this look on his face, why did my head go? This bitch got me paying the rent. That's what the song started playing in my head. Just the the look on his face. Sorry for my non-singing abilities, but y'all know what song I'm talking about. Yeah, that look on his face said it all. And so to make matters even worse, this girl is going to put his ring on with her ring to compare the two. And clearly, the ring that she bought for herself is larger. Why would you do this? It's just so, like, she doesn't give a crap about his feelings. Tommy says, I'll be back on in a sec for the Bilal section. Got to switch to 5G. No problem. Because we're almost there, but I'll take my time on this. This is so, I can't believe it. I can't believe that she would do that in front of him. That's so rude. Like, I could see if she did that, on her own in the bathroom just because she wanted to see it. But why would you do that in front of everyone, in front of him? It was so rude and nasty. So he basically excuses himself and says he's going to bed. And I think that's all that happened with that segment. Now we finally get into Bilal and Shaeeda. And I have to mention something that Auntie's Advice said. If you don't watch Auntie's Advice, go watch her. She's funny and she's intelligent. She's great. But she had mentioned something about Shaeeda, and I agree with her. Why always the same hijab? Why does she not have, like, if you're, like, I'll just speak for myself. I won't speak for her. If I was a Muslim woman and I decided that I was going to cover, don't you know I would have a hijab for every day of the week? I would have so many colors that match so many outfits. Like, and I've known women like that. I've known some Muslim women that they probably had a different color hijab for every day in a month. And then it would have different ones that might have a little bit of gold embellishment or maybe like a lace overlay, just different things. There's different fashions and things you can do with the hijabs. Not just the same old boring over and over again. Like, she does the same old boring over and over again. I don't know. Chris says it's her power trip, referring to Emily. And Tony Man says, go for it. I'm ready now. Okay, here we go. Now, they have returned from their romantic evening, which was the least romantic thing ever. And Bilal tells his sister about how Shaeeda was very uncomfortable on the Ferris wheel and that she felt nauseous because she doesn't like heights. And so he thought to calm her down, he'll show her his prenuptial agreement on his phone. And he also, let me go back and forth on this. Look at his sister's face. That's the look when you know your brother is messed up, but you don't want to put him out on Front Street on television. But she just says, I think I wrote down her exact quote, "Not a good move, bro." That's what she said to her brother. And he goes on to say, I'm going to go back a pinch, that every person that he's ever loved who loved him back has left him. And yeah, we know this, Bilal. We know. And, if there's nothing wrong with Shaeeda, she'll probably will leave you too. But if there's something wrong with her, then maybe she'll stay. I don't know. Tony Man says, I bet you have heels and nail polish to match outfits as well. Oh, yes, of course I do. Oh, if you knew how much nail polish I have. I used to have bags to match everything too. I'll tell you about that later because we're going to talk about bags in a minute. So while that's happening, Shaeeda's up in the room and she's talking to her sisters and her mother about the prenup. And they're like, he's treating you like you're a nobody, like you're just some poor girl from the islands that came there on a banana boat. That's their words, not mine. They said that came there on a banana boat. And I agree with them. He does seem to think that his status is automatically higher than hers just because she is from an island. And they remind her that she was a business owner, that she had her own yoga studio, that she had her own life before getting with him, and that she doesn't have to take that from him. They also advise that she adds her own terms to the prenuptial agreement, which I agree with as well. The one thing that I don't think that she got correct is she goes on later to talk to him about meeting with his lawyer. No, what you want to do, Shaeeda, is have your lawyer communicate with his lawyer. That's how you do these things. And when she brings this up to Bilal, he tries to deflect and say, well, what's the terms he used? Because he said it really weird. Oh, I don't know if you guys hear that. That's thunder and lightning. Tony Man, are you traveling outside, or are you getting a ride? Because this is the sky's about to open up. He says something about, don't you want to make sure things are good and right in the relationship before we get married? Dude, you were just talking about the prenuptial agreement. Now you want to make sure the relationship is all right. That's a complete and total deflection and derailment of the conversation. Also, I thought you had a nikah, which is a spiritual marriage, which means you felt that things were, what's the term he said, good and right enough for you to share a bed with her. It's just all kinds of wrong, just annoying and wrong and just full of crap. And then he deflects a second time, telling her to be careful with the zipper on his bag. Now let's get into this. Let me take a sip. I am drinking Folgers coffee, by the way. Just so you know, I'm not even that fancy. Not that fancy at all. I enjoy Folgers coffee. Okay, Tony Man says, waiting here with Will until this stops. Yeah, I would advise you not to travel in this thunderstorm. But yeah, he's advising her to be easy on the zippers on his bag because it's fake as hell. I'm so sorry, but it is. The zipper's not even the right color. Also, take note. Would you say this is a dark brown? I would say this bag looks to be like a very dark, chocolatey brown, dark chocolate brown bag with a silver zipper. This is the real bag, which is not a chocolatey brown. And the zipper is not silver either. Not saying this is not a respectable knockoff. It's a respectable knockoff. But it's a knockoff. Also, the straps here usually have a leather piece right here. But yeah, he didn't want her to break the zipper on that fake ass bag. I also brought your attention to the colorway because this dark chocolate brown for this particular bag, the colorways that this bag is available in are black. It's like a graphite, which is gray and black, more black, and then a warm brown. Not, you see this between this brown and that brown? And this bag is neither browns. Chris says he's a bootleg baller. Exactly. If you paid that much for the bag, it should be able to take an aggressive zipper pull. Oh, not only that, if you look at the price, which is $2,950, most of the time people will insure bags like this because of that price. So you have insurance on that bag. So if something happens, you can collect the value of the bag or you can replace the bag. And what's funny, I know about these bags because this is another thing I was looking at. If I zoom in on here, you can see the texture. The texture of these bags, they're canvas bags that are covered with a graphite coating. So the print is woven into the bag. His bag is not woven. That's printed on top of it. It's like I don't want to say polyurethane, but a fake leather. And then there's a print that's applied over the fake leather to make it appear like the Louis Vuitton bag. Yeah, and the third thing is the pulls. You see the zipper pulls, and you see that the zipper is black, and it has this type of flat zipper pull. His bag has whatever this is for a zipper pull. It's not the same flat zipper pulls. So he is pretty much asking her not to break his bootleg. Later on, he's in the car and, they're on their way to the airport. Faux latte, vinyl. That is a good guess. Yes, I think it probably is a vinyl bag. It's probably, I think it probably is made of vinyl. And why is he sitting in the front seat of the car? He's got Shaeeda in the back seat. That's just bad manners. Like, I don't know, maybe just where I grew up, if it was a woman driving the car and it's a man and another woman, the other woman would be in the front seat and the man would be in the back seat. That's just the way I've always seen it done. I don't know what kind of etiquette. Well, we know what kind of etiquette he has because, I'll get into that. I have a couple things to show you that shows his etiquette, but I didn't think this was a good look at all. Him walking 5 paces ahead of her. Also this bootleg here is better than the one that he had her packing. It still has a shine to it that it shouldn't, but it's better looking because it at least has the faux leather handles, because the real version of this particular duffel has leather handles. So this is a better bootleg than what he had her have, but he's walking like he's not even with her. Again, poor manners. And this is the real version of the bag that he wants you to believe that he's carrying. You see how it's a lot sturdier looking there, because the base of this bag is not soft. It will have like a I don't know what you would call little thing that they put in the interior of the bag that makes it more sturdy at the base. Whereas here, his is soft and bendy. And it comes in those 2 colorways again. This graphite and what do they call this? Ebony for their brown. They call it ebony. Also, you can tell by the strap. If you look at the strap, I don't know why I'm going off on a tangent on how to tell a real bag from a fake bag, but it's fun. You can see how the strap is adjustable. This is, and again, it's not shiny. This bag is not shiny. So again, this bag is not shiny. His bag is shiny. Just all kinds of full of crap. And in the third example of not having any manners, this blanket, when they went on, I didn't notice this the first time I watched that episode, but this blanket, when they went on the carriage ride and it's only on his lap. Like, this is just gross. He's just gross. Just gross. I'm going to have to put up my allegedly again because we got some more tea coming in, but this time it's about Bilal. But yeah, the story I was going to tell you about the purses. Let me come back to that. Why I know so much about this stuff. Okay, I had a bunch of purses that I got. And if you're from the tri-state area, you know that if you take the train into the city and you go down to Canal Street or Bowery, you can get any type of bag, anything in the world. And so a few years ago when I moved, one of the movers, I don't know who it was, but somebody took 2 of my containers. One was filled with clothes, one was filled with bags. The one that was filled with the bags, I had a Chanel bag in there, a Prada bag, and I had a Louis Vuitton backpack. And so they saw those things in there, and that's probably why they took that container. Jokes on them, all those bags were fake. Every one of them, but they looked great, especially my Chanel bag. I missed that one the most because it was so good. It was such a good reproduction. Oh my God, that was a great looking Chanel bag. Tony Man says a dude riding shotgun while his spiritual wife was in the back drove me insane. Guy Code says she rides in the passenger seat or you both sit in the back together. Thank you. I know it's not just me thinking that this is, poor manners. I know it's not just me. Let me put up my banner for the next little bit of information that I got from Twitter. And we'll read it together here. Okay, this was reposted to Twitter, but as you can see, it came off of Reddit. Shout out to God Loves Satirier, I guess, or God Loves a Terrier. That's what it is. God Loves a Terrier. They wrote, I got a comment before I get started. Tony says, while working for Goodwill, I could identify Coach bag as bootleg. Mm-hmm. Bilal's house is a staged model home and the only parcel in Kansas City with his or any LLCs affiliated with him is the one he pranked Shaeeda with. Then it goes on to say, give me one good reason why that house looks like it was furnished by the Christmas tree shop other than it was. Bilal loses his shit every time Shaeeda spills 2 drops of water on the floor because at any moment, Compass Real Estate could walk through the door with a prospective home buyer and God forbid her hijab pins leave a trace. That one probably isn't allowed to do so much as fart on that couch, shaking my head. Then they have highlighted, according to Kansas City's property records, Bilal's only property to his name is that dilapidated shack he weaponized for his rags to riches lie. Now, I put that banner there saying allegedly because this is just someone's write-up. We don't have any legal documents to back up what this person is saying. However, give it time. I thought that his outing as being a fraud would probably come about through Lipstick Alley. But Reddit also will out people for their lies. So we'll see who posts the actual documents, like the county records. It's either going to be Lipstick Alley or it's going to be Reddit. Tommy says, your area is getting hammered right now. It's dark over that way, but sunny here. Yeah, I can hear it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and look at the tweets right quick, and then I'll probably get out of here by 5:20. Because I don't want to tempt it. I want if the electricity blinks out, it'll be too long for me to get back on. Okay, so we'll just switch over. Take down the banner. Why is it not scrolling? What the heck is not? Why is this not scrolling? I can't see the comment. Hold on, let me try doing this. Wow, this fits him too well. Okay, so let's see what tweets I highlighted here. No, I'm not streaming tonight at 7, but I will be streaming tomorrow. What I'll probably do is do another 4 o'clock tomorrow, but it will be on my other channel, and it will be for Stranger Things and Chucky. Pancakey says, Bilal, come here. I want to try this new product I saw on Amazon, and it says erase a-hole. The original erase a-hole. Fills a-holes and cracks in plaster, drywall, and wood. And this is where the original tweeter, Love My Husband, had posted this off of Reddit. It says, what a surprise. Bilal is the happy homeowner of the dump from his first episode. From the Friar Podcast, says, our new episode covering 90 Day Fiance is out now. Thank you for listening. So check them out. And it says, Bilal's family should not shame Shaeeda for 2 previous engagements while Bilal has 2 previous divorces. Exactly. John Nid says, this lady is like a living, breathing email from corporate HR. Yeah, I can see that. So Blake Dreary says, tell me I'm wrong. And they say, corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. And you would actually add, what's her name from the other Ariana from 90 Day Love in Paradise. Fits the same description. Not My Circuit says, Thais, you should have watched this season. Mama Asuelo can tell you how to say it. And it says, just give me money. That's all I want. If you've seen that episode in that season, and you know how Asuelo's mama was. Kenny Niedermeyer posted that he is road tripping with Armando and the baby girl. I forget what her name is. She was so adorable, but they're on a road trip, having a good time. Glad to see that they're still going strong. Susie Kim says, so was Emily as conflicted about her jacket choice as she was about her rings? Well, this is more, the continuity error, because you can see the denim jacket underneath the white jacket. They just filmed it in the wrong order. Or I shouldn't say filmed it. When they edited it, they made an error. It says, Jenny B says, just me, nerd persecution ends. He does kind of look like dude from Revenge of the Nerds. That's a good one. It's funny how I retweet stuff and then totally forget that I retweeted it. And then I see it again and I have the same brand new reaction to it. Tommy says, I said Jibri's mom had box braids like Bo Derek in 10, but she has 4.5. Bo Derek did not have box braids. she had what's called Fulani braids, and these are braids that Black women have had for thousands of years. It's sad that y'all still associate that braiding style to her, but you know, let me get back into the tweets. 90 Day Fiance Twitter. Oh, what Jibri's mom probably has are micros. It looks like she has micro braids, which are a, a pain in the ass to take out because they're so tiny and there's so many of them. Random person, I'm leaving this group because talking about the 90 Day Fiance Twitter and us just saying bye. uh, George Mosi says Shaeeda makes a beautiful bride. Too bad it's for Bilal. This is true. She is a beautiful woman. No, say what you want about her. She's absolutely beautiful, and I do like this dress. Next episode, Emily and Kobe prove that they're carrying the torch from Kalani and Asuelo and getting pregnant again. They must be allergic to condoms. Yeah, this is they kind of are. Let me open that one up so you can see Emily and Kobe and um, Kalani and Asuelo. They are pretty much the same. It's like the same couple over again. Calling in Sick says Bilal's narcissistic take on why a prenup wasn't well received. Quote, definitely wouldn't have done that for sure. I really don't understand why it is like a major big deal. She's just so like anti, which is his exact words that he said. Beware absolute grandiose language, even if hidden behind likes. And they put 2 red flags. Every week I say a little prayer for Miona's hairline, Jean-Luc Picard says. Jubai says, and over to your left, you can see the exact moment Emily's dad realized he was the dumbest person in the room. And this is when it's revealed that Emily had her sister and her mother knew she bought her own ring, but the same time that Kobe found out that she bought her own ring, her father found out. And so he was like, I didn't know you had enough money to do that. So yeah. Yeah, Pops, she's playing you. Blocked by Big Ed, the Mucinex snot says Leandro looks like Squints from the Sandlot. A little bit. Emily expects, Jennifer says, Jennifer with one N says Emily expects her family to believe that she will wear whatever ring that Kobe buys for her, even if she doesn't like it. Then what was the reason to waste money on a ring on your finger? Exactly. Harleen Quinzel says Benny should have invited his ex. Shut all that laughing down real quick. This is true. His ex is beautiful. It's just wild to go from this to that. I just, yeah, this. Los Espositos 90 Days says, how's it going, Bilal? Dropping prenups on romantic dates. And Jubai says, how it feels to watch Ari's entire family disrespect Benny by supporting Ari's relationship with her ex and not recognizing Benny's feelings. I lost all respect for Ari's mom tonight. For her to also blame their issues on Benny, wow. That's a good little like Photoshop type thing there. Here's another update. Barbie Johnson says, can you believe this is Rose? Rose. I call her Rose. Rose. She looks wonderful. Best thing she ever did was walk away from Big Ed from previous seasons. And it is good to see Rose doing well with her son. That is great to see. She looks happy. She doesn't look so, like the way she looked when she was around Ed was just so like defeated. And this is good to see her looking better. Next season of 90 Day, if Miona don't loosen up that ponytail. Shout out to V for this. This is funny. Me trying to figure out what Shaeeda sees in Bilal. That's all of us. That's literally all of us. And with that, that's where I'm gonna end. That's where I'm gonna end the show. What are y'all's thoughts on this episode before I go? Okay. Foaming Kilata says shows and movies used to hire a person just for story continuity. That's the phrase, I think. Yes, it is. They used to call it it was a continuity. Is it a continuity supervisor? Yeah, but there was a person whose it was their job to make sure that the continuity was correct, for whether it's from the level of fluid in a glass, where a person walked to and from, their clothes, their hair. There used to be a person who that was their job to make sure that continuity was the same. Tony Man says it was trash and awesome. Chris says, I live vicariously through your recaps. These couples are a mess. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, you didn't hear this from me, but a little birdie said that sometimes some of these Discovery Plus shows end up on Daily Motion. So, yeah, that, and sometimes they will pop up on YouTube every now and then, but usually it's like Daily Motion. All right, with that, thank y'all for coming through again. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to pack it up. See y'all tomorrow for those that want to talk about episode 7 of Stranger Things and also episode 7 of Chucky, because the new Stranger Things, I believe, comes out this Friday. So I want to be all caught up for that. Until next time.